No.
You don't want to look at Space Jam?
I mean, not like we can, but there's nothing wrong with it. That's only 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a perfect website.
It's a 10 out of 10 every single time.
Welcome to another episode of Stars Behind the Browser's React. This time we'll have Mel and Josh joining us to provide some insights on how things work inside the browser window, while enjoy some delicious dark and stormy drinks. Mel and Josh are both experienced full-stack developers who have worked on both government and private websites on large scales, helping organizations delivering information that's accessible and innovative. As always, we'll start by looking at some awards, nominees, and give them our ratings. Then have some fun with intentionally bad UIs. Now let's get started.
Cool. So the first one is AWD Agency. It's a design agency. Let's have a look at the awards.
Control.
Transitions.
Oh.
Oh, got my menu. Well, I mean, the first issue is
The menu's a bit.
but it's been translated, so we can't knock it off on that. It's been automatically translated.
It by default goes to the Italian.
Yeah.
Alright, let's look at it in Italian.
Oh no, it's still broken in English. Never mind.
Okay. I like maybe the font sizing to differentiate things and a bit of that, but yeah, the menu's a little all over the place.
Yeah.
It's coming into it too tight. Although I love
I love
a dark theme.
Oh yeah,
website.
yeah. And I like the cursor.
And the cursor's fun. Oh, look at the transition. Alright, I don't like this bit.
Yeah, so that bit is a little bit annoying to me.
Yeah.
And I sort of want to go into that.
Is that happening when you're scrolling?
Yeah, we actually made it.
We've done this exact thing. Yes.
I don't hear.
So yeah, what's annoying about
it? So is that happening on scroll?
Yeah.
So your scroll direction just appears to have
changed.
changed?
Yeah.
I find that a little weird that your scroll direction's changed.
Yeah. I don't mind if a website does a side scroll, but I think it's like
Should be mostly that way.
Yeah.
And as well, like some of the images don't work well with the color scheme that they picked, so it's gonna go back to here. And website starts cutting into it, but you can't read website.
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
white image.
That's fair. I do like, at least they haven't tried to cram too much information into.
Those little slides.
Yeah, I see people that do like these big
It's a
design
really long
things.
slide thing though.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Takes a while.
There's 14 of them.
Alright, there we go, good app.
There we go.
And I like the little like the subtle animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
I really like that. When you hover over one, it goes.
Oh, that's kind of funky.
Cool.
I like that a lot. That's really cool. There's a lot of really cool elements in this.
Yeah.
I really like the big, loud text. I'm a bit struggling, and can you go back to the top? Can you just like drag the scroll bar and skip
No,
this?
I can't. There is no scroll bar.
Oh, it's a JavaScript. Okay, I don't like that either.
Can I just go back to the top that way?
Oh, I don't like the about. I can't tell the story. Okay, it is there.
Oh, I think I buggered up one of the animations.
Yeah, you cut the top.
Yeah, oops, sorry. Yeah, I'm always a fan of like subtle. Oh, there's a little picture.
Feeling network heavy then.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Popping
But
like
then we
that.
get back to this issue again.
So you switch sideways. I don't know.
And when there's so many as well, you get stuck.
It frustrates me, and I've seen it frustrate other people as well. So, like, don't want to say it's a bad thing as well, because I'm worried that I've become like too old school in that respect.
Yeah.
But I think there's maybe nicer ways to do it than subverting your scroll.
Yeah. How would you do it different if you have, for example, the teens section?
Yeah, because essentially it's basically a slider, isn't it? This whole control
Oh,
thing,
you're gonna
but I don't
love
love sliders. I generally kind of would avoid doing it in that layout, but how do you think you'd do it?
I'd probably go really boring old school and have like the card grid. So you're not breaking sideways.
Although I love this animation that they've got there.
The hover over.
Yeah, where it's like the card
I like
behind it. That's really, I think you've got card grid, you've got your slider that you can make more interactive with swipe and stuff, but sliders hide content from people. I don't love them super well.
They're not great for screen reading either, I think.
And to me, it's more like, is your user really gonna read all that information?
Like it's nice because I assume they're the people that work for them and they each get their spot, but
Yeah.
your client wants to know who works for you, but they want to know that people work for you,
Yeah,
but they don't really.
Clients are more interested in the projects than they are the people behind the scenes. I
Yeah.
think, most of the time, which is sad because
Yeah.
people are awesome.
Well, it's part of the reason I'm doing this show. But also, like, clients want to know if the team has the capability of doing something.
Yeah.
If they see like people who has tens of years of experience doing it, they feel more confident.
I think
Yes.
maybe. So
Yeah,
when we go to like the
but this
portfolio parts, instead of having like a team's page, you have these team members worked on this portfolio, like this piece of work.
Yeah, that'd be
Or like,
And
yeah,
so
just
start
a listing of
sliding them.
interest in projects
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who has worked on everything.
yeah.
You still have your team members on your website somewhere. It's hard because sometimes you want the front and center because you want to show that your company has some personality
Your company
and
is
who your
people.
people is. But also it depends who your audience you're targeting. It's difficult. But also this doesn't tell you how much experience they have because
Yeah.
it tells you how long they've been
Oh,
at
no,
this agency,
yeah.
isn't it? They could have worked for 10
Dang,
years
they've been
before
there
that
for a
agency.
while. How long's the dog been here for?
7 years or something.
Dang.
He's been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's my dream to work in an office that has an office dog.
That dog's 12 years old or something. Yeah.
Oh, poor puppy.
Wow. Well, I don't know, my maths could be wrong on that.
He's
But
the CEO, obviously. They they've opened up further. These sorts of hover things, well, it always makes me think that it's a click state as well, and not just informational.
yeah, you'd think you'd go to their page and tell them about the
tell them about it or
projects
something.
Yeah.
they've worked on or what they've done.
And do you think that's partly because they customize the cursor?
Yeah.
It's cool, but also it loses the sort of accessibility side.
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. And like the whole website's cool and has a lot of nice design elements. There's some UX stuff that's a bit of a weird, but it's like they've tried to make it look really cool and show off their
Yeah.
skills while sacrificing the experience for people, almost.
But that's almost like every single design agency website.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Yeah.
at the same time, it depends on what your company focuses on. If you're focusing on private agencies, it should be like, wow, spectacular, because they don't care about accessibility, they don't care about WCAG or anything like that. Whereas government agencies, they'll see this and be like, well, my screen reader's not going to read that. Can they do our website?
Cool, awesome. Shall we give them a score? So back to the first tab.
Oh, yeah, school.
So switch both now. Let's go.
Yep.
And there will be like a few score up a little bit. What do you think of the design? Is it?
I liked the design.
Yeah.
I think
I
design
think-
is the best.
Yeah.
I think the design is really good. I think they've suffered on the user experience potentially.
I'd say like an 8, 9 for design. Where are you falling?
Yeah, probably the same area, 8 or 9 for design, but then the UX stuff is probably
Well, this
more.
isn't UX, this is design.
Yeah.
And UX, we can give them a...
Visually, I really liked it. I'm a sucker for dark theme.
Yeah, same.
I would go an 8 or a 9. Yeah.
Well, then I have a point score, so do you think it's more of a 9 or more of an 8?
Look, I'm a nice person.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
go.
go 9. Usability, this is the part where we go down.
I didn't realise we had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'd say like
4 or
4 or
5,
5, yeah.
yeah.
But I'll be the nasty one and give it only a 4, sorry. Creativity.
quite creative.
It's creative, but I've seen it a lot. Like a lot of
Yeah,
the things they've done are like,
it's hard.
yeah. Like maybe 6, 7.
I'm going
Like
for
it's
7.
good.
7. Just
Okay,
go.
I'll go 7.
I think it was.
Content, well, we didn't read it.
I think it was
so
hard
beautiful.
to
Yeah.
it was so beautiful, but also there was like
There was a lot of content.
it was
that's
so
what
pretty
was.
that it was hard to like in websites like that. It's hard to convey a lot of information. So the content's nice, like all the photos are well done and everything. But yeah, like I don't know what this person's done. I don't know even getting what this company's philosophy was about. Like they had a paragraph on their balance page, which is good, but like on the front page, I couldn't super tell a lot.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go for 5. Oh, we're done.
Yay. So I think you do have to hit that.
Confirm.
Well, 6.7 is not bad.
I'd
That's
say that's
pretty
pretty
good.
much what we gave them, like if we average our stuff.
They had like a very good of.
So yeah,
Sounds
user
alright.
average is an 8.
So 1.4 out of.
I think we rated it low for the
Yeah.
usability. That's probably where it got
Yeah.
next to the negatives for.
Yeah.
But I would
Because
stand
we
by
are-
it.
We've done a lot
we
of.
live in Canberra and it's
Yeah.
accessibility town.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of government work and accessibility.
Nice. All right. Shall we do the next one? All right. Go nuts.
Got it?
Okay, we've got to read the content. This time.
Okay, if it's in English. It is. Okay. Oh, yay! That's cute.
That was kind of cool.
Oh, I like the hover states.
Oh, look how different shape is.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is that the cursor doesn't change to a click, and they're definitely buttons. I think the whole thing should be a button.
Yeah.
What's
Circle.
is it a hover state as well?
Yeah, they're all hover states, all the shapes.
And go
How
back
would
to
you
the
make
top.
that custom shape a button? How would you make that?
Can't you just make an SVG a button?
Div
Yeah.
clips on it maybe, or button with clips on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realise until you said it that it's not a button, only the centre of it.
Only the center of it is.
Yeah.
And it's
the
a
whole thing changes with it.
it's a repeat of the menu. So the menu is there, and then
Is
there's
it?
an artistic.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not in the same order,
Yeah, it's not in the same order. Just gonna click.
which is fine. It looks prettier. It looks nice, but it is the same content that is across the top.
I like it. Ooh.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. Okay, so if you go off the shape, okay, maybe the shapes are too big then. I'm not a fan of that font, but I think I just find like those sort of handwritten fonts too Comic Sansy.
Yeah, pretty hard to put that on. At least it. Yeah.
That's just personal preference for me though, to be honest.
There's a lot going on in the background, so it makes it hard to read. But for the design side of things, I don't know if you can get away from that.
It's carousel. Okay. I like the little buttons for the carousel though. They're the different shapes.
All right, and that's
Yeah.
each page.
The carousel itself is a bit too big. It just sort of doesn't quite go in the fold properly.
Yeah, because that's standard fold size. Isn't it?
Yeah. That's cute. I don't really get the purpose of it though. This little rotating thing. So the images are clickable.
Background's changing, which is kind of makes each slide distinct.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a little weird though, the background text. I don't like. It fills space, but I kind of don't know what everything.
It also feels like it might be cutting off a little bit.
Is that on purpose though?
Yeah, if it is.
Yeah, I think it's trying to incorporate that image, but like, don't know how well it does that. The sliders are one of those things that is a love-hate relationship for me.
Government loves those.
Clients and people generally like them, but I find they hide content quite often. At least this time, that like this one, they've got a part of the slide showing that at least there's something you can
The
guess is
indicating where it's
next.
coming. And I think it needed that too because I sort of got to
Can you
this
swipe
point.
it?
Well, I got to this point. You can't swipe it. Oh no, yes you can. You just have to grab the image.
So it's the same.
Try with a touch screen. Like just swipe it.
Okay, it's not touchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the similar issue they have with the buttons at the top. The whole, even like with the mouse, you can drag the image, but you can't drag the whole slide.
Yeah.
And the touches just.
I feel like if you want to simulate any touch gestures with mouse movement, you gotta make it
You gotta
touch
go all the way
friendly.
through. Yeah. And there are libraries out there that do that fine. Like, I'm a big person who believes like don't reinvent the wheel if it exists. Like why would you want to rewrite the entire thing?
What's your favourite slide in the library?
My favorite slider library probably Owl. I like the Owl carousel.
Yeah.
You?
I've used that one before, and I've used Slick, but Slick kind
Yeah.
of tends to break things.
The Slick has jQuery as dependency? Or
Yeah,
is
that's why I started looking around and why
Why
I
I
was
use-
kind of
yeah, that's why I use
I've been
that.
trying to slowly cut out the amount of jQuery I have. I want to be free from it. Not that it's a bad thing, but a lot of jQuery stuff you can just do with vanilla JavaScript.
Yeah.
Even Drupal's looking at moving off of jQuery now though, so 9's sort of the start, the movement towards away from it, and then 10 will eventually possibly even dump the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's the theme that they made? Clearly? Not
Claro.
Claro? Yeah, Claro is now all JavaScript, not jQuery.
Yeah, and I believe they're bringing out a content theme that is pure JavaScript front end, isn't it?
Oh,
For
that's
the back end. It's either admin or a standard thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
See, but this one as well, like so the images and the text are part of the button, which is how I would do it. You do a little like. That's cute.
I like the image.
The pop in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't do it back when you.
Okay.
It just zoomed in. Don't put the buttons properly on the bottom. They're the same buttons, so at least there's some continuity. But again, it's not a bad thing, but it's the menu again. But
Well,
I do enjoy that it's typed
at this
top.
point, unless you scroll up, you don't see the menu
Yeah.
anymore, so that's why.
That's fair enough.
Take a look at a content page. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm a sucker for like slow animation.
But they've kept with all the same. They're kind of like watercolors.
I like.
Watercolor everywhere,
that.
which is nice. Another slider.
And this is good too because my cursor doesn't change, so I know it's not a button. So I know it's just informational.
But then it's clickable.
Is it clickable?
Nah.
Okay, no. Mess with my head. They're using the same slider too, so they're just dragging it.
I like the hover effect.
Yeah, it's cool. Kind of looks a bit like, do you remember Code? Oh, what was it called? Code Drops or something? There was a big development website, I don't know if it's still popular now. It's called like Code Drops or something, and they used to do these sort of cheat things where they would have like these effects. You just increase that effect. It's cool. It was like, it's a blue play button, I don't know why.
So you can go to the shop.
You want to go to the shop?
Yeah, I want to see
What are you
what's for
buying?
sale.
Josh is going to get himself a nice little skirt for the summer. I reckon you could rock any of this.
So I assume the cart button's going to add it.
And get you a chiller bag.
Is that in my cart? No.
No, did I press it right though? Oh, no, here we go. Oh, because we have to add stuff.
Yeah,
So we have to say colour and things.
just a little.
I don't like that when I press the colour, it doesn't like change the image to that colour though.
And they already have all the colours there
Yeah.
too. Well, no, there's
There's
more
more
colours.
colours than what they're giving us. I like that sliding down effect, but yeah, I think if we click at the colour, it should automatically go to that colour.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And if I expand those, then it actually pushes out the buy button.
I do find like that it was a cart button. I guess it did come up with a form to add it to your cart.
Yeah, it just took a little bit, but when we can like it, but at the moment that liking is loading right now.
But as a whole, I like it. I think there's a few little things, but I think they've been consistent with their styling.
But I think every website has like little bugs here and there. Like I
Yeah.
can't fault them.
There's no huge cardinal sins.
Yeah. I do like that the little logos like spin around wherever you are.
You liked it before, but you said it.
I don't know if I would do it, but
Yeah, because they do look like buttons.
yeah.
You're right.
Especially when you interact with them, they do something.
Admittedly, they haven't used it as an interaction anyway, but it is looking very buttonish.
Just take a
Yeah,
sticky.
yeah.
That's web developers we sort of try to break.
Look into it.
I think any developer, yeah, just break things. But I find myself.
Oh, it's WordPress! Yes!
Oh no, do we have a WordPress fan?
Open.
No, that might be the one. I'm just gonna stay here.
And they're using WooCommerce, yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, no, often I find myself just browsing the internet, running across some cool effect or some cool site and inspecting them.
And that's why quite a few websites actually use console as a sort of job advertising.
Yeah, I saw that. I think the Washington Post or something, or something, New York Times, I don't know, were doing that, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've been trying to convince people to let me do that for a while, and
Yeah.
just tempted to just do it and just.
I used to do that in my the previous company I worked in, and I even did a little like animation, like airplane flies through the console.
Oh.
It clears every second.
That's
and
cool.
Everything just goes off. Yeah.
I haven't used Animate yet. I use like GSAP.
Yeah. GSAP has a lot more features though. Yeah, and it's paid.
Yeah. Oh no, well you can get a free one as well. It just doesn't come with everything.
Yeah. That scroll trigger one was really handy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so we can
Right.
start a scroll.
You rate it? There's no dark theme.
It's the dark thing. I don't think you can take points off of that.
But I kind of like the sort of colorfulness.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the on it.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
he used the
consistent.
same colours kind of throughout.
Yeah.
And all the colours have the
And the
same
shapes
colour
too,
to
they
it.
cut the shapes come up quite a bit. Like I thought they were really annoying at first, the huge thing, but I like how they reuse them in all the pages.
Yeah,
It gives me a Google vibe. a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
it does. But materially. Oh yeah, I'd go.
I'm gonna say 8, 9 again.
Yeah,
Nine.
9, yeah. I think in my books it's hard to get a 10.
Yeah. I can't think of any website that I could give a 10 to.
No, I don't think so. I think if you give me something a 10, then you probably. You never should be able to get a 10. You can always make something better
Yeah.
in some way.
I think the
No.
usability was better than the other one, so.
When we get the other one.
We gave them a 4, didn't we? Yeah, we gave
Yeah,
them a
because you're
4.
really mean. I want to go like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6.
6 or a 7, I think.
Oops.
I don't think there's anything wrong. Although I didn't like the card thing, but yeah, 6 or 7. It's up to you.
I'll say 6. I'm sorry. Creativity.
Look, I think it was kind of a little bit, but
I saw some different
There's-
things that I haven't seen before on other sites.
yeah,
So-
but it was still a bit standy, but I don't think there was anything wrong with the creativity that was in it.
7?
Yeah. I think the other thing is, like, it did have creativity to it, but not creativity that took away from the experience of it all.
Content. We sort of read it this time.
I think it was not too bad. Like the hover things that told you things, like kind of lets you, like they had a bunch of information in those slides where you hovered on them, but
Yeah.
it let you focus in on each piece of information.
Only issue with that though is I didn't know what I was going to look at until I hovered over it.
There is the issue, there's no title or anything. I wonder how that went with accessibility as well. But
6?
yeah.
Slightly better than the other one?
And I guess that's one thing that people don't really understand what we're doing. Like when we're building a website, we don't want to only make it look good. We want to make it look good and also cover as much audience as we can. So people with visual impairments and maybe colorblind people or people can't read, have reading problems. We want to sort of cover those people as well, especially with government websites. So
Yeah.
accessibility is.
I think with any website, because otherwise you're treating that part of your audience as like a third-rate, like citizen in your thing, and I think that's not very fair. Like I've seen accessibility be sacrificed for design before. The sites look gorgeous, but yeah.
And I think another huge user that we continue, like a lot of people forget, is the people that have to work on the site.
Yeah.
Like the people who edit and do all the publishing and stuff. So if we make a beautiful website and they can't change the buttons,
Yeah.
then we haven't done very well.
Because I think any website, it's important that like
Yeah.
developers do a lot for websites, but the content that goes into a website is just as important, if not more important.
Yeah.
So yeah, big shout out to all the content people. They're really good.
All right.
We're pretty close too, 0.4.
Yeah, we were in the negative. I think that's just because we gave.
I think we're a bit harsh critics. We've been negative for 2.
I would say we're like hugely negative. Most of them have been over a 5. Like 5 or above. The only one that got less than a 5 was the dark theme one, and that is because it, like, I don't think a screen
It had some
be able to read
cardinal
it.
sins
Yeah.
in there, I think. It looked very nice though.
Have you, like, I was wondering how to make that dark theme one like accessible. Like if we can sort of make it like visually the same, would we be able to create a version of it just for screen readers?
Yeah, some places do that, like in the ability of giving things the ability to have larger text sizes. Oh, Milo!
Sorry. Probably
There's people walking
Yeah.
by. That's what my dog does too. And on the opposite side of the street, he's just like, people?
No, I've seen them do that. I've seen it for like mobile themes, and I suppose for accessibility you could have some kind of JavaScript if hopefully they're executing JavaScript to do detect if it's using a screen reader or this and that. So I've seen it before.
Well, one of the programs we
though.
did, we sort of had to do something similar, whereas we had a 3D experience. It obviously can't be screen reader friendly because it's in a 3D space. Imagine having to do all those calls. So we just made another page separately to them that had all the objects in the 3D space, but just in a plain vanilla way, so that they could still get the same information that they couldn't get through the 3D experience.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's pretty common to see, not for accessibility, but like documents. A lot of government agencies, I think you have to for WCAG, provide in multiple formats, don't you?
You do, but I've never seen a WCAG policeman come flying.
Neither have
To
I.
come tell me off.
It's one of those things where you police yourself almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they do it for documents and stuff, so I don't see why you can't. It's difficult though doing a completely separate part of your site because you need to ensure the content's the same and the stuff that they can pull out from that content is the same, and how do you do that while also keeping your content editor's workload not ballooning out can be difficult. Like the 3D stuff, that project, there was definitely a lot more work for the content people to shuffle around,
100%.
because they had to make more pages and stuff like that. So it's always a balancing act.
Yeah.
Like WCAG is always a balancing act of like time, development constraints, and then your content editors as well. So it's difficult, but yes, you could, for sure. Yeah, no, I find like I can critique people's designs and see like issues and how to fix certain things, but creating something from scratch.
Yeah, from
It's
scratch.
very-
But if it's in a website that we've already built, then I'm a little bit better at that because I can kind of grid around
You've
it.
got a lot of elements
Yeah,
to build off
to build
on top of. You're not just coming out of your imagination.
Yeah.
But I love spending time with good designers, and they just
They're wonderful.
they just bounce ideas off you, and they help you.
You who shan't be named. I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to say names.
Any shoutouts?
Lloyd, love you.
Cool.
It's a very good man.
Yeah, you're a very good man.
When you see a theme that's being sold, no offense to WordPress, it's usually WordPress.
Yeah. How much percentage does WordPress cover in total?
It'd be more than Drupal, I think, for sure. It's such a more accessible CMS, I think, than Drupal is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be a lot, although you've got things like Squarespace and Wix, which have their own space in the web place, but
But not as
there's a lot of those
well,
around.
like the White House is on WordPress.
But like you see, like percentage-wise, it doesn't matter how big your site is, it's just how many of them there is. So you got to think there's a lot of Wix around and all of that, which is not a bad thing. If someone comes to me that's like a friend or something, and they're like, "Hey, I just want a nice-looking site for a few pages," I won't say no to Wix and stuff. It has its space.
There's a reason for every product.
Absolutely.
Most products.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta it might not be what you need for your product, but it is for someone else's, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not
definitely-
scared of those sorts of things. I have a person who's
No.
very scared of those sorts of things. They're like, it's gonna end development as we know it. And I'm like, who do you think builds the back end of those things?
I've met a lot of people that are, and like content people that have come to me and been like, what's going to be like in 10 years? There's Wix and stuff, and well, it's not really replacing what you do. It's replacing a part of what you do, if that makes sense, but it's kind of the boring part that we did anyway. So it was like, I don't really care. Like, I've done it for a bunch of friends, making like little tiny sites and off on the side things, but it never was that interesting to me because they weren't the sites that always impact people's lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Have some cool things about it. Like, I didn't get into web development to do easy things. I got into it because of the challenge.
Exactly.
So it will change, and it has changed the web space, but I don't think for a bad thing, and there's been no shortage of jobs, so I don't think it's going to change much.
But I think for small agencies who sort of build these kind of like 4-page websites for a living. That's their sort of bread and butter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit of impact.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit, but at the same time, like it's a company that you can build or like there are companies now that do square pages as a living. Like that's part of their payment now. So you want a really pretty looking square page, whatever it's called.
Squarespace.
Thank you.
I think that there's been a bunch of jobs made though in that space for content creators for them. Like you get this thing and it looks nice, but putting the words together and making everything, making your content fit the style and everything is really difficult. So I think there's a lot of those agencies or like freelancers that were making WordPress sites or like really small sites. I think they'll probably do more sites to make the same amount of money, but they'll be doing a lot more content related things potentially, or
they move their skill set to
go to more to words like
page builder, like skill set.
Page builder, or even towards like more hardcore development stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know a lot of people that have come from that space who've gone more towards development. They look back at what they used to do and they go, well, this is the challenge is really interesting to them.
It's also silly to be scared of change in web. Because it's constantly changing.
Oh, yeah.
We can't keep up with it.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. We need to look what's coming and go, oh, that's kind of cool. How can I use that to my advantage?
Yeah, if you're in the web space, you need to be very embracive of change. If you don't, 5 years, 10 years, like if you hadn't learned, like in the Drupal space, if you hadn't chose to start learning Drupal 8.
Yeah, and now we're at a point where it's literally end of life is this year.
Yeah.
This year, I don't know many sites that are around. Like there's a lot of migration, but you needed to learn Drupal 8 anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know there's a lot of sites around. I don't know a lot of big active development that's still happening.
The thing is, you don't need to learn these things. I choose to learn those things. So do you choose to learn those things. People can choose to stay and say, I only want to do Drupal 7 sites for the rest of my life. And some places will let them get away with it because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
I think, it's a career where you've got to have a passion about it. Because I can't name how many hours I spend in my free time just learning random things.
Okay.
Now we're reaching the fun part.
Okay.
So now, this section, I want you to forget everything you've learned about good UX.
Okay.
Or good UI design.
That's easy to forget.
Let's focus on messing people up.
Okay.
Let's see how these people have figured out a way to do that. So that's a video.
It's going to do what I think it's going to do.
It's gonna go to the video.
Yes, that's so good. I really like that.
Yeah. And one thing to one interesting thing is that this is not character based. It's not character length based. It's based on the actual width of the input.
Yeah.
So if you type an L versus when you type an O, the O would fall out.
Yeah.
And the L stays on.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
See, my idea, when I saw that, my idea was similar, but I didn't think about adding a bin. It was you have a limit of 5 characters, and every time you go over, it starts overriding the first character, so it just loops around forever.
You should have the matrix on the side.
Yeah.
It joins the matrix. Becomes part of the matrix. So we have to come up with our own bad UI ideas.
Don't have to.
No, I think
No, you have to.
close buttons that move are always fun.
Oh, when you have to try and chase it down. Yeah.
Or it's literally makes it so it seems like it's possible, but it's actually impossible to hit the close button.
Yeah.
Do a close button that moves, except don't make it a button.
Or like an impossible captcha. I'm not a robot. It's I don't believe you.
Asking.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of captchas do that.
Yes, there is actually a capture.
Oh, is it?
Don't think that's one, maybe not.
Three-factor
We'll get
authentication?
there. A lot of fab UIs about signing sort of screens. So yeah.
Oh, is it going to show their password?
Oh no. Well, the top one's a plus.
Actually, I think there's a little bit off screen.
The password for this account is kittens. Yeah. means make me laugh, but also could happen one day.
Could happen,
With
yeah.
that picture one. There's a Black Mirror episode basically around that.
This is like Facebook, but in an alternate universe.
What other bad UI things do you have? Did you find enjoyable?
That I find fun. Make your website so instead of it having a design, it's just the minified version of the code.
With a database connection. Work it out. Comes up with a pop-up. Image explosions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's annoying.
Oh, I moved.
Yeah. Oh, it gets heavier. That's really good. I hope they take it off and see if it comes back. Oh.
I like that animation.
These person are really creative. I love that. That is my favourite one. That's better than the big one. It'd be really good if you got all the way to the end and it just fell off the page.
Yeah.
That one's actually a difficult section.
What,
Broken UI.
UI?
It's like everything that I've tried to not do in my life, I've got to try and undo.
Undo it. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep an open mind.
Purposely breaking accessibility. That would be number one most annoying thing to do.
This thread actually uses that theory. So I mean, when you look at the sort of the top rated those buttons, it's actually a very light gray on white background. So when I first used it, I couldn't really find like, what am I looking at? Why is there only 3 posts?
It'd be really interesting to do a website that is for people that have no visual impairments, no accessibility issues. They look really bad, broken, but is really, really well done for people that have accessibility issues. To switch that around.
Have you seen that? This is a fucking website.
No.
Yeah, check it out. Just type in.
I love all their comments. Wow. Anyone that's watching this should check this out.
I love it.
Yeah.
An 83 polyfill was given for IE7s.
Truth though.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
That battle has been a long battle, getting rid of IE.
So close.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm thinking. I'm currently working on a design system for a government agency.
That goes back to IE11?
No.
What?
They actually ditched IE11.
Perfect. Have they ditched Old Edge? So Old Edge is better, but it still has issues.
I would much rather make something for all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Any day.
For the latest Edge? Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just grown.
good.
I think what actually convinced them is the sort of the usage results.
You
And
had
it-
people actually look at the stats and
Yeah.
believe you?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
You make things take so much longer when you have to polyfill everything and then do this. And
I think it's so easy.
Better than it used to be.
I had a poor developer launch a website and she forgot to check it in IE11 and the menu was absolutely trash in IE11 and of course naturally that is what the client looked at on a Saturday. Had a look at the site when it had launched was in IE11 and so it was like, ah!
I remember when I worked for you, I built some mapping thing that was broken in only IE11, but it wasn't the newest version or something.
It was like 11, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was broken in that.
Yeah, so I remember
Well,
being up at 2 a.m. in the morning fixing that.
I don't know why, we had you don't need to, if you're using the wrong browser, maybe you should update your browser thing at the top.
Yeah, they made it, well, we wanted to add that, but made us put it on, but then also, if you were using one of those browsers, they still wanted to work perfectly. So it was like, we probably should have put that there and just make it work and everything. But late nights fixing IE issues. One day will be a relic of the past. No.
You don't want to look at Space Jam?
I mean, not like we can, but there's nothing wrong with it. That's only 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a perfect website.
So-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a 10 out of 10 every single time.
Oh, that's one.
This is,
Yeah,
this is
it
the
is.
original one.
Tile, background,
Yeah.
everything.
Red text on black.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Admittedly, it clearly tells you what it's about.
And a sitemap.
What does the sitemap look like?
Oh, I see you've got the planets and they connect to the content. That's good.
Consistency.
Even got the border to show you which row it is.
Yeah. I can't go back from that. That's okay. We still love it. I don't know what jump station means.
You're about to find out. We've got a new heading.
Cool links and hijinks. Click above to find out more about our sponsors and the various hip sites that make WB Online jammin' place that it is. There are no links. There are no hips.
I aspire to meet the
No
developers
hips to
that
be
make
had.
this because it's
Oh, do they have any secret messages actually?
96.
Whoa.
It's 1996. They didn't have enough RAM to put secret messages in there.
No. I mean,
Is there
they wouldn't even be JavaScript.
There's JavaScript in there? Well, they don't have any console errors. That's good.
Oh, yeah. 10 out of 10. Is it tab accessible? It is, see?
That's
what we
okay.
needed.
That really is the pinnacle of websites.
Cool.
Really,
Next
you can
design
down-
briefing.
Down here from here.
Next design briefing when they ask me for inspiration, I'm just going to print this off, put it on the whiteboard and walk out. I just want this exact site.
Nice. Sweet. Thanks, guys. Hope that was fun and a bit informational to the audience. And yeah,
Super fun.
let's do it
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah.